You're listening to the Furlough Podcast, your break from everyday life with hosts Chris and Dave.
All right. The weekend before Christmas. Is everybody excited?
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
No, I have to scramble to buy some more shit today.
You're knocking on the timeline.
No, we're doing gift exchange tonight, and I still have to buy 3 of 3 presents.
Really? I went yesterday. They said 1/3 of the country will be shopping this weekend. Think about that.
That's
1/3.
a lot of motherfuckers.
That is. That is.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not
Yeah.
doing it.
Well, I'm damn sure not going to the mall and doing it. Holy smokes.
The inside wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of people standing around, not
Yeah.
buying, just kind of hanging out. But the outside, the traffic is crazy busy
Yeah.
on the outside.
Did you go to the Galleria or Summit?
Galleria, and then just hit, the shops around it.
Yeah.
It was just insane. But when you go inside, it's just like, hey, where's everybody at? So. But
Yeah. Well, all I've done this weekend was look at weird facts online. I found this site, and I find it pretty amazing. Some of the silliness that goes on. It's like this one. It says in the Great San Francisco earthquake of 1906, 3 men were caught alive on the roof of a hotel that was ablaze, and it was impossible to get them down. Rather than see the men fall and burn alive, a nearby military officer ordered his men to shoot them.
what? Wow.
He said, well, he was like, I'm just going to put them out of their misery instead of trying to save them.
That's when men were men back there in 1903.
I was
Nice.
going to say that shit would not fly today.
Hell no.
I'm just trying to figure out why a military officer was standing around in the earthquake of 1903.
See them guys over there? Not much of a chance of making it. Let's just go ahead and just knock them off real quick.
A little target practice.
Damn, that's brutal.
I mean, you got to think about some weird shit was going on during that earthquake. That was a hell of an earthquake. They just go around popping people.
Yeah, fuck saving them. Let's just shoot them. I mean, one less person we got to save. God damn.
Well, resources were limited back then.
I guess.
At least. What would you do if you're one of the 3 guys? You're standing there, you're waving. You're like, come help, help, help. And then all of a sudden, these motherfuckers start drawing their rifles up on you. And you're like, whoa, whoa,
Two
whoa.
guys next to me drop. Yeah.
I mean, shit, what are your options at that point?
Shit.
Burn and die?
Try and climb down.
Yeah.
Jump, whatever.
I'd damn sure run to the other side of the building.
I know, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll go back in the building. Hell, whatever.
something. I found that was a great little tidbit of knowledge.
Have you ever been in an earthquake?
I've never been in an earthquake.
You, Amber?
No. I'm actually kind of surprised that you haven't, though, Chris.
I haven't been one.
Huh.
Not that I know of. I mean, I've shook the bed once or twice. But
I've been in 2, actually. Seattle doesn't have many, but I was in one there. And then I can't remember, I was somewhere in California. I was at a hotel, and it was pretty bad, And it was 10 o'clock at night. And let me tell you, what you find out in an earthquake is you find out what people wear to bed. I'll tell you that. Because women were running down the halls, titties flying, just in panties. I mean, it was a wild. And we're all standing out. I'm in boxers, nothing else. And there's people out there, bra, panties, topless, out in the parking lot.
no shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It was a wild. And I think we were staying at like a Days Inn or something like that,
Oh, yeah.
But the water, I'll never forget. It hit so hard that the water, when we were standing outside, was still splashing out of the swimming pool. It was going that hard.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
That is weird.
Yeah. But I looked at that for only like a second. I went back to the titties. And I was like, hey, look, the girl there with the titties out.
Mine would be some old uglies. Ugh.
You be at a retirement home?
Yeah, but, it's like, put those things up. Another one I was looking at, it says, due to a clerical error, the state of Missouri assumed that a man named Mike Anderson was in prison, serving his 13-year sentence for armed robbery. It was only when they began to prepare for his release did they realize that that law enforcement had forgotten to take him to jail.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
This motherfucker's sitting around for 13 years. So the question is, I mean,
Do they go get him and make
Yeah.
him serve his time then, or?
yeah, I have to look that up, but I found out, I was like, holy shit, man, he skated for 13 years out of that deal. Don't get in no trouble
Right? Yeah.
in that 13.
Hey, he didn't get a speeding ticket. Nothing.
I guess not. I bet he was on point.
Yeah. Some bitch going to church every Sunday.
Hell
No.
yeah.
Hopefully they would listen. What they should have done was just not even acknowledge their mistake, ate it, and swept it under the rug and rolled on.
Yeah.
And that way it wouldn't have.
Especially if he didn't do anything
That's
during
right.
that 13 years.
That's right. He
You know.
committed the same amount of crimes in those 13 years that he would have in jail. Which is
Yeah.
probably zero because he was locked up.
Because he was,
Yeah.
he was scared to death. I bet his wife kept him on point too.
Yeah.
How do you work for 13 years though? I mean, what do you do? I guess you'd have to
There's
do.
plenty of under the table jobs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Christ! You go on a construction site or whatever, but
Bar back.
Yeah.
yeah, but not all companies do, hardcore background checks.
Right.
I'll tell you, the last place I worked, there's no way. They said they did background checks, but we had all kinds of riffraff coming in there. I mean, it was brutal. We had a guy work with us. And the police came to the job, and he ran through the warehouse, jumped into the truck, and hid inside. Now we have 200 trucks, backed up, being loaded up, and he hid inside one of the trucks, and so nobody knew which one he was in, and we had to go into each one searching for him, and they were about to turn the dogs loose.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it was. I'm telling you, man. But he had committed this crime prior to coming to work for us.
Right.
So it really makes you question what kind of background check they do on these
Well, I
people.
worked at a sign company. This was probably mid '90s, and we were out in the warehouse, and all of a sudden we see these guys with fucking bulletproof vests on. Here they come, but they didn't look like cops, And it turns out they weren't. They were bounty hunters, or bondsmen, whatever.
With paint guns.
No, they had guns. They had real guns, but they had they had gear on, but they were wearing like blue jeans and t-shirts, whatever. And man, we saw this cat. He broke stride through the big warehouse where they're building these industrial signs and stuff like that. And I have never. We were near the big roll up door when he come breaking down through there. Of course, our first thing was, what's this guy running for? He blew by us, jumped off the dock, which wasn't that high, as high as a tractor trailer. Jumped off that thing, feet was still moving when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
And he scaled a fence that had barbed wire on top of it like it was nothing.
Really?
Yes. I mean, he scaled it like a cat, and I was so impressed. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then here come the guys, running with all their gear on. They weren't running near as fast as this guy was, but
That
they
Jones
ended.
and motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but they ended up catching him. We saw him catch because this car and a van was coming around the other way, and they basically cut him off in this big parking lot, like a big dust storm over there. Never found out what this guy had done, but apparently whatever he did, he didn't go to court like he was supposed to. So that's why they were there. He was basically. And I never understood why people don't go to court.
Right. I mean,
So did
unless,
you ever see him again?
No, never saw him again.
hell, he's probably serving 2 life sentences. That dude. Crazy.
But I've seen two incidents where bondsmen were chasing people down. One was I used to hang out with these guys that owned a auto repair shop, and how I'd get to work. They let me use their stuff to work on my car, as long as I would come over and help them on Saturdays from time to time, and just help them do things. And the guy that owned the place, his grandson was a knucklehead. He was always into stuff, all kind of stuff. And it was funny, he was standing there, and we were working on something, and he didn't really know how to work on cars that great. I think he was like 18, maybe 19. And so we're standing there, and I'm talking to him, and I turn around, I'm doing something, and I turn back around, and he was fucking gone. Like a ghost, like poof. I mean, I didn't hear footsteps or nothing. And I was like, what the fuck? And I turn around and look towards the big roll-up doors, and there's these 2 big guys standing there, and a woman. And they're talking to Pops, who owned the place, and he's just shaking his head, no. I'm like, So I kind of eased towards that way because I'm naturally nosy. And so I start easing that way, and I realize they're bond agents. And they're asking if they seen the kid, this and that, and everybody's like, no. I didn't say anything. I didn't even respond. And so they just sat in the driveway for the longest time with in their truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting ready to leave. And so I was walking by, and they were like, hey, you don't have to say nothing out loud. Just give us a nod or a wink if he's in there. And I was like, I don't know. And about the time I couldn't even get, I don't know nothing now, all of a sudden I heard another woman that I had not seen going, he's going out the back. And I'm like, holy shit, because I guess they had another one that was dipping around the thing. And
So you knew he was in there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just talking to the motherfucker, and he disappeared like a ghost. I mean, he's like, I knew he was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it wasn't like I was trying to cover for him. It was just real weird. I didn't even know that he'd been in trouble. It was just one of those, what do you do situations. It was like, really none of my business. I wasn't friends with the guy. And, I didn't have any ties to him as far as loyalty or go. But it was one of those situations. Like his granddad who let me work on my stuff there, I was like, I just didn't want to get involved. I had to say that. But when I heard this old lady go, and she was old too, that's what was even funnier. She goes, he's going out back. And I was like, and then this big motherfucker, I mean, he was big, come barreling out of the truck and running through there. And they didn't catch him, man. He went through the thickest of thick undergrowth woods that were behind this building. And I saw him about 4 days later, and he looked like a fucking bobcat had whipped his ass for dinner. I mean, he was tore up. But there was a trailer park not far away, and he went and hid under a trailer. Because I asked him, so where'd you go? And he goes, I hid under a trailer. And I was like, Jesus.
Was he a slim kid?
Oh, he was super skinny, man. You could slide him. He was like, hey, you could slide him under the door quick.
Well, that old girthy fella, I guess he knew ain't no way he was going to make it through them brush.
Oh yeah, it was, dude. I didn't need the machete to get through that thing. It was bad, and he did not want to go. And then I heard it was something stupid, like some sort of traffic violation, something, maybe a DUI. I mean, it was really something stupid.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't get it, man. These guys will just make the smallest thing, and it'll compound into this. Now it's an enormous situation,
Right.
Just address it. Jeez.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he may be in prison, but that was kind of that whole lifestyle,
There was a story I was reading the other day talking about a small thing and letting it compound. Since you're on crazy stories, this girl been handful of years ago come up missing when she was like 14, and she was last seen alive outside of a movie theater, and turned out that there was like a serial killer in the area. The guy, later, a couple years down the road, he admitted to kidnapping this girl and killing her, and the detective, something just didn't add up. I don't know, or they were looking for more evidence or whatever. Anyways, come to find out, the police found her in the neighborhood in a house, living in a house with her boyfriend. Like, the whole thing was she just, when she was 14, wanted to run away from home. And so she ran away and had her boyfriend hide her. Then 5 years later, the cops find her. But a serial killer had already admitted to killing her.
Well, I'm sure he wasn't taking detailed. Yeah, it could have been her. I don't know. Just killing them left and right. But some of those guys just like attention.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They do it for multiple reasons, but I think once they finally get caught, I think they know that they're going to jail forever for one or two. So why not?
Notoriety.
Notoriety. Why not say
make it something exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many people have claimed to kill JonBenet Ramsey?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. No, several of them have claimed.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Lots of people.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the weirdo. If they're willing to kill one or two, why not? And they're caught. I'm just going to be famous.
Yeah. Killed 100.
Well, that's what what's his name? Helter Skelter guy.
Charles Manson.
Yeah, Charles Manson. I don't think that he physically killed anybody, but he did enjoy that fame. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, but I think they say that he didn't kill anybody. He just instructed his people to do it.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I mean, a sane person would have been like, no,
Yeah.
I didn't do it, and they would do anything they could to get not go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I think he enjoyed the celebrity part of it so much. He gave them just enough to keep him locked up forever.
Well, the celebrity and the power, over his followers.
Right.
Is what it was. It's a wild story.
Yeah. That went a little deep.
Yes.
So. But let's go back light. I think you'll like this one. There's a guy in Portland who plays a set of bagpipes that shoot flames while dressed as Darth Vader and riding a unicycle. There's some weird cats
my
out there in
Lord.
Portland.
Yeah. Oh, there are weird cats in Portland. There ain't no doubt about it. Damn, I've been up there a bunch. It's cool as hell.
Yeah.
I really like Portland. But they've got some wild, wild cats up there. I went to I don't know why I went in there, and it's not important why I went in, but I went into a sex shop when I was there.
It's sort of like a brewery here.
Yeah.
That is what I do.
I went up there, and they had at the register, it was a big glass case up there, and they had this black dildo in there that thing, it looked like a 4x4 fence post, and it was about 5 feet long, and that thing was enormous. It was seriously, it was like a 4x4. And it was just called King Dong. It even had its little plaque. It had this big, its own plaque. So whenever that was when I lived in Seattle, we'd dip down and go to Portland.
Yeah.
So whenever buddies would come in town, we'd slip down to Portland for a day. And we would always go in there, and I would show them that, and we'd laugh, whatever. I don't know why that was a stopping point. But anyways, so I went in one day, and I go, hey, man, where's old King Dong at? And the guy goes, you're not going to believe it. He goes, a girl came in and bought it last week. So
No shit.
yeah, somebody's sitting on that thing. So,
Ugh.
I just don't understand how that's physically possible.
yeah, I don't know. No, but it was why. But it was to the point of absurd. It was just so large.
Yeah.
And it was like, it has to be something displayed, not used. You know?
Right.
And-
There's physics involved. There's only so much you can do. I mean,
Yeah. But anyway, she's probably dead now.
she's probably dead. Or has a very interesting mantelpiece.
Yeah. Or she's probably got 6 kids and they just fall out.
Ugh. That's crazy.
Yeah, they might come walking out. Shit, who knows?
I'm not gonna lie. If I ever saw something like that and I just had the money to blow, I'd probably buy it just to give to you. Just
To me?
Yeah, just for shits and giggles. Just so you could have a King Dong on your mantle.
I would put it right underneath my television, so I'd put it up on as like and it would just go the entire
Yeah.
length.
Yeah.
Awesome. In a glass case.
Oh. No, you'd have to leave it out. That way you have to dust it from time to time.
Yeah.
You'd have to. You
Yeah,
have
have the
to.
housekeeper dust it.
Yeah, have a housekeeper come and dust it. Yeah. And that'd be a whole nother story.
Oh, you pay extra.
Yeah. Dust my dildo. Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
We
God.
do that. Hell, I'd come over just to dust the dildo. Hell, that's it. Forget the rest of the house. Yeah.
Well, damn, 5 foot. That's a little bit of work.
A lot of dusting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Get that thing polished up. Well, here's oh, damn. Just beat that mic up. So here's another one. It says, John Chicky Donahue, a merchant marine from New York City, snuck into the war zone in Vietnam in the 60s to deliver beer to his 3 enlisted buddies from back home. It is known as the greatest beer run ever and has a documentary made about it.
Wow. That is awesome.
This motherfucker wanted his buddies to have beer.
Now, that's the kind of friend I need, right?
I need you to research that. I want to.
Yeah. Well, you know what a merchant marine is, right? It's like a sailor, but it's not like combatives. It's like if you go into the merchant marines, and there's still merchant marines now, and they work a lot with militaries and different things like that, and they'll provide logistics. They'll provide, mostly, oilers, the transportation of fuel, transportation of goods, stuff like that. But they're not combat ships. But but that's what merchant marines are. So a lot of people during Vietnam, I think, joined the Merchant Marines or joined the Coast Guard. They joined shit like that so they wouldn't have to go to Vietnam. And so this guy obviously, joined the Merchant Marines, but his little buddies, he felt bad for him to sneak into a war zone to take.
That's awesome, man.
Beer to your buddies. So yeah, we'll have to check out old Chicky Donahue.
What year was that?
It just said in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, guys were made different. Men were different back then.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
now,
much so.
yeah, guys now are skinny jeans and sweater vest.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. So I was at a bar on Tuesday night for that open mic thing, and after the show was over, I was sitting at the bar virtually by myself. The place was emptying out, and there was an old man that was in there watching the show. And I'm telling you, this guy was. I found out later he was 65. And so he went from the table and he had the entire bar to sit at, and he sat right next to me. And when he sits down, he tells the bartender, he goes, I'm going to sit next to this redneck, pointing to me. And I go, excuse me? Now, people that don't know what I look like, I'm a jeans and t-shirt guy, right? And I wear black
Clean
rim.
cut.
Yeah. Black rim glasses, just very middle of the road guy. So I go, excuse me? He goes, you heard me. That's a 65-year-old man, 66, old bastard. And he goes, you heard me. He goes, I called you a redneck. He goes, but don't worry. He goes, I'm a redneck too. He goes, a redneck is somebody that doesn't care about their appearance. I go, goddamn, dude, it's jeans and T-shirts. What are you tripping on? He goes, I'm not even worried about your jeans and T-shirts. He says, nobody that had any sense of fashion would never wear those fucking glasses you got.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, and then he offered, and he goes, here, I'll buy you a beer to make up for that. So yeah, the guy,
I
it was
like your
fun.
glasses.
I do too. I didn't know him from the Man on the Moon, and he came out like
He didn't
that.
give a fuck. He was gonna see what you were made of.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny. We laughed. I hung out there with a little while. So he was actually doing work down in the Gulf on the Panhandle.
Oh God, he's a roughneck.
Yeah, and he was on his way back to Missouri. So he said they were making bank.
Yeah. Roughnecks make a lot of money, but they call them roughnecks for a reason. You know what a roughneck is? Somebody works on oil rigs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, he was doing just clearance, land clearance, and all that trees and all that.
Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, it was. But it was funny. It was a good time. He was passing through. I asked him. I said, "So why, of all the hotels between Panama City and wherever in Missouri," I said, "why would you stop here?" And he said that his business partner had met a girl. Picked her up on the road somewhere, and that they were itching to have sex, and so they stopped at this hotel, and he goes, I'm just waiting on him to finish banging it out. He goes, and then we're going to hit the road again.
Oh shit.
I said, well, you go wait outside the door. Maybe go ahead and get your turn in. Hell, but at 66, he's probably done with all that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's at 66. He knows better. He
Yeah.
looked at her and was like, "No."
Yeah. But anyway, he was a funny guy.
That is hilarious. Though.
Yeah.
And where were y'all at? Y'all were at that stand-up comedy thing?
Yeah. Over in Hoover.
Over in Hoover. Oh, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, that was funny, that guy. So he was itching, man. He wanted me to take him around. He goes, I'll wherever you want to go. We'll go drinking and we'll party, but you got to bring me back. I was like, no, I'm not. No, I left him there. So,
You might have been more his flavor than than old girl.
yeah, I wasn't having it. So.
That is funny though.
Yeah.
This redneck.
I have never been called a redneck ever.
That's not something I would use to describe you.
No.
That's classic though. That's what I'm gonna start calling you from now on. I'm gonna go hang with my little redneck buddy. Oh God.
What else you got?
Here's another one, man. This in 2007, the Australian government spent $84 million on a porn filter.
On a what?
A porn filter
Okay.
for their national, I guess.
Oh, for the country, the citizens?
Citizens. And it says a 16-year-old boy, Tom Wood, cracked the filter in less than 40 minutes.
Yeah. But why? Who cares if you're citizen? That's crazy.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny that they spent $84 million and this kid busted it in less than an hour.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Kit's going places.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah.
If he can get his hand off his dick.
Yeah.
Either that or they really got screwed over on that 84 million.
Jeez. It probably got sold to them by Pornhub, you know? We knew it wasn't going to work anyways.
Oh God. But man, this next one that I really like. It says an anonymous Brit drew penises around potholes in Manchester to force authorities to stop delaying fixing them. It worked. And you know the artist Banksy.
Yeah.
He wrote Wanksy.
See?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I've got one of his things in my house.
Banksy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Wanksy in mine. But hey, man, on the rougher parts of town around Birmingham, they need to start drawing penises all over the.
I'm telling
Shit,
you.
UAB's remote parking. First of all, they just went up on the prices for it. And they've got the lot that I'm parked in is a shitty ass little dirt and gravel parking lot. They can't even afford, and with railroad tie bumper things, like they don't even have, it's just cheap as hell.
Huh.
Kind of reminds you of the high school you went to.
The high school that I went to had a nicer parking lot.
I was just being facetious.
But it's just covered up with potholes. Like, you have to, especially me and my little car, have to, like, drive real slow through it. Like, I'm paying for it. Y'all are going to, I know, I mean, they're making money, and they're overcrowding them. I'm going to start spray painting some dicks on their little
Do it.
Do it.
Dicks.
potholes. Yeah.
And then me and him will come bail you out for spray painting dicks around town. After a couple of days. We should probably make you sit for a couple of days.
Well,
Huh?
that's just so that when you're in county, you can write Dave's number on it. He needs to restart that taxi service.
Yeah, let's kickstart that thing. That'd be fun. That's a good idea.
He's good for a ride, girls. I'm just telling you. You just understand.
Pick wisely that first one because it all stems off that first one, you know. So, ugh.
Well, here's you another one. This is how me and Dave would make it. It says breast milk once saved 16 people lost at sea. 2 days after the food ran out, a woman told her sister to try her milk. She felt better and offered it to everyone else. The 8 men and 7 women took turns sucking her breast and were able to survive for 7 more days until currents pushed the boat to shore.
But here's the thing. I mean, she had to eat something to produce the
That's what
milk.
I'm saying. What was she eating?
I don't know.
Feeding on something. Over
No, just reading odd facts.
That chick must have had some titties on her. She can feed 8 adults.
Shit, that was 8 men and 7 women.
Damn. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
those little
For how long of a period of time?
for 7 days, 7 more days. I bet her.
She had to have.
I bet her nipples were sore
Yeah.
or numb. One of the two. They better not hold breasts.
Barbara's at lunchtime yet? I know I just ate a couple hours ago, but go ahead and pull them babies out.
I wonder if it was like a litter of kittens, one on each one. Just
Yeah. Take a table for 2. Me and Chris will both hit that thing right now.
What's in here? Hold hands like little newborns while we're working on it.
Y'all are idiots.
Hell, I'll deflate my titty and I'll even try and tap into yours over there. Hell.
Just pushing. Little kittens.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I could go for that. Hell.
That's a little role play. Let's pretend like we're lost at sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. But other than that, I think that's we're getting towards Christmas and shenanigans. Everybody needs to remember that we still have the intro contest going on. And if you want to call in at 205-779-8474, please do that. We do have Bama Brew Girl did an intro for us, so you'll hear
Cool.
you heard that at the beginning of the show. My brother said there's a nice little senorita in Texas that might be interested in doing us one. But if you got one or you want to do a little sound clip, do that number, 205-779-8474, and we look forward to hearing and playing that for you. Big things coming at the first of the year, hopefully. We are going to go video, and so you can see our shenanigans, our facial expressions, our laugh, and we're gonna go live with it. We're gonna have it where you can call in. Call in while we're live. So if it's something that you want to pay attention to, listen to, it'll be good.
Yep.
Anyway, anything you want to lead out with for the last show?
Yeah, so don't forget, 26th, 27th at the Stardome in Hoover. I'll be performing up there. I got 2 shows on. That's a Wednesday and Thursday. Come on out, meet myself, Chris, Amber, and whoever else. It'll be a fun time. So come on out and hang out a little bit.
Not to take away from your show, but is that the Lavelle Crawford night?
That is not.
Oh,
Right before.
But you did take away. Thank you.
sorry.
And the last thing we're going to hit up is Mallory Hale. You know what you were supposed to do, and when you call in, do what you do, we'll give you that big shout out. We'll look forward to you, sweet girl,
Mallory.
Mallory. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.